Hey guys, here we are for day two of this. Hopefully, this goes a little bit better than yesterday's video. I'm hoping it will. I'm using a different mechanism and we'll hopefully be able to put this right up on YouTube. So, first thing today is I have a little competition that I will explain to you a little bit better in an email or on Google Classroom. But right here, I have a spice container worth of coins. Um, and what I've done is I've counted up the amount of money that is in the coin, and I'm going to give you one guess, and the person that comes closest will get a prize. I'm not exactly sure what that prize will be yet, but I'm going to give you something. It'll be fun. So if I can give it to you in person, I'll do that. If I have to send it to you, I'll do that. But we'll find a way to give you a prize. And so this is the thing. You can pause it and take a look at it or whatever. But that's what we're talking about. You got to guess how much money's in there. Closest guess wins. All right. So on to our part two of our notes here. I'm putting a new document up for today's notes. It'll be obviously a continuation, but I just wanted to sort of give it to you that way. All right, I got my fun laser pointer today. By the way, yesterday's notes, there were times when I was showing you maps where I thought the pointer was showing up on the screen and I was pointing to places on the map. I realized going back and looking at it that was not the case. That wasn't how it worked. Today, it should work. So let's get moving here. Yesterday, we stopped with the Battle for Britain. Hitler had given up on the battle for Britain because it was not being effective, and he wanted to send his troops elsewhere. Where he wanted to send them and where he wanted to fight the war at this point was in the Mediterranean, in the Balkans, with his overall goal trying to be that he wanted to attack Russia and or Soviet Union, and he wanted to have a base from which to do that. All right, so how are we going to change the slides? There we go. All right, so this is just a map of more the Mediterranean, Southern Europe, and Northern Africa. Just to show you a couple of places now. Obviously, this is what we refer to as the Balkans. This Hungary, Romania, Yugoslavia, Bulgaria, Greece. We'll talk about Turkey to an extent. And then Northern African we're going to talk about, and we're talking about this area mostly where we're going to today. So there are going to be some battles in Egypt and eventually this town of Tobruk that becomes a major site of one of the wars, one of the battles. All right. So as we had seen, I forgot to mention Ethiopia, which is down here. So Italy had taken Ethiopia. We talked about that before under Mussolini. So back in 1935, Italy had taken Ethiopia, and Italy was increasing their war in Africa, but not very effectively. And as an ally, Germany felt sort of compelled to help the cause. So in September of 1940, Italy begins expanding that attack, and they attack Egypt, which was one of the possessions of the British government. They were not very successful. They did not do very well, and as the Battle of Britain ends, Germany starts moving their troops towards Egypt to help Italy on the attack. So as they're fighting for Egypt, it goes back and forth. The Germans came in, made a lot of successes. The British end up sending some troops, fight them back. It seems to be going British way. And eventually, the Germans launch a counteroffensive, retake that city of Tobruk, generally overwhelm the British armies that are down there, and put a very strong German foothold in Egypt and in Libya and Egypt, but in northern Africa there. The famous general that fought on the German side, known as the Desert Fox, was this guy named Erwin Rommel. So Rommel's name comes up in history a number of times, and he's an important general during this war. All right, so you're going to see the fight then is going to move up towards the Balkans next after Hitler accomplishes this. This is sort of an odd little map, but you can see Germany up here. We've got Italy controlled by Mussolini, and you have Greece down here. The Balkan area here is going to be Bulgaria and Romania and Yugoslavia, and Hungary as well. These nations are the ones that Germany is after so that he can launch an attack northward into the Soviet Union. So he wants to move up this way. All right, so after that Northern Africa Egypt battle sort of finishes, Hitler does move towards the Balkans to fight, based on just threat and persuasion, just convincing, with the threat of war, obviously. Three of the nations are able to sort of become Axis powers. Bulgaria, Romania, and Hungary, their governments just agree to join the Axis. Greece and Yugoslavia were a different story. They did not. They had pro-British governments, and they decided to fight back. However, it takes 11 days to conquer Greece and 17 days to conquer Yugoslavia. So in under 3 weeks, they're able to blitzkrieg, lightning war, Greece and Yugoslavia into submission. And so by April of 1941, very early in the year, 4th month, all 5 of those nations, Romania, Bulgaria, and Hungary, as well as Greece and Yugoslavia, have become part of the Axis power, either as allies or conquered states. So here's a new map, just to show you the size of what Germany was now sort of acquiring. You have France, mostly northern France, Belgium, Netherlands, Denmark, Norway, all occupied by Germany. On the east side over here, you now have Yugoslavia, minus a small section of just these countries sort of agreed, so they're Axis powers, Hungary, Romania, and Bulgaria. Part of Yugoslavia actually agreed to join the Axis powers. This is the part they had to conquer. And what's sort of off the map at the bottom is Greece, which, if you can see, the yellow means Axis occupied, was another country they occupied. And at one point, Albania joins the cause as well, a little bit later. So you now have Germany basically, or through Italy as well, but the Axis powers, minus a small part of France and Spain, they have the entire European continent almost totally under control. Little pockets here of not. With the Soviet Union, we had talked about how they moved into the Baltic states because they're next to the Baltic Sea. Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia. They had tried to attack Finland with various results. But Soviet Union had moved and become aggressive, and now we have Germany and the Axis powers controlling the bulk of the central part of Europe. And that's by 1941, with the war having started in 1939. Okay, so as we said, the ultimate goal was to try to get to the Soviet Union. And so what he launches is what he calls Operation Barbarossa. Operation Barbarossa was this plan to attack the Soviet Union. It begins in June of 1941, and it catches the Soviet Union totally off guard. They were not expecting the war to come to them like this. They were not expecting to be attacked by the Germans after signing their non-aggression pact. And honestly, even though the Soviet Union was the largest army in the world, it was also one of the most unprepared armies in the world. They just totally were underfed, undersupplied. Uniforms, food, weapons was always an issue, much like it had been during World War I. So as Germany attacks in the south and moves up towards Leningrad and Moscow, which we'll see, the Soviets once again practice their scorched earth policy. So as their troops are retreating, they burn the ground and they burn the land so that the German troops cannot gain anything from food. They can't use the crops and things like that to help their army. Plus, they're going through some fires and things meant to slow them down as well. I hope you remember that this is exactly what happened when Napoleon tried to attack and control Russia at the time. So they begin this attack in June. A few months later, by October, they've reached Leningrad. I'll show you on a map, but that's a fairly northern city in the Soviet Union, and they lay siege to Leningrad, which means they try to surround it. They make sure that nothing comes in and out. They block, all the supplies going in. We get towards the winter here, and once again, we have a European-led army trying to control Russia, Soviet Union, and trying to go through the winter unprepared in summer army clothes kinds of things. The Germans did successfully lay siege to Leningrad. They never actually took the city. Lots of Soviets died, but they did not actually give in. At one point during the winter, Germany decides to send some of its troops towards Moscow, the capital city, and they send these troops to Moscow. Moscow does fight back, causing the Germans to fall back somewhat, and they sort of hunker down a couple, 100 miles outside of Moscow, and they get involved in this fight. But once again, the Germans sort of fight to a standstill outside of Moscow, outside of Leningrad, don't actually gain the goals that they want, and they're forced to try to live through another winter in northern Europe, northern Asia, ill prepared with supplies, and they really didn't gain anything from it. So once again, this is just to show you where Leningrad is up here, and then you have Moscow in here, fairly north, fairly far, and this is now the expanded German control as they fought from the Balkans up towards Leningrad and Moscow. So where this had been Soviet controlled, it is now German controlled. So basically you can see the gray and a lot of the stripes here are all of the Axis control down into northern Africa and through Italy and all of this. So you have this huge, tremendous area that is under the control of the Nazis. All right, so this I'm restricted to a 15-minute time limit, so I'm going to have to stop this video, and I'll post this one and the next one to finish the slides. There's not a lot left, so I will get to that in a moment. So I'll see you in a bit.